Welcome back to the Great British
Bake
Off.
One of the joyous things about this session is that nobody sees anybody else's demos before they're live. Nobody knows what anyone else is doing. And thanks to the glorious Laura and James, no one knew that we had a Great British BI Cough theme to today's session. Due to my hardware problems, you don't get to see the pie chart joke at the beginning of my slides, but I do, I'm at least as disappointed as you are. But I do want to say, first of all, that this is a competition. There will be a prize for the star BIker at the end of this session, and we are using you as our judges. I would make a lousy Paul Hollywood, despite what my kids say. So we're going to rely on your applause at the end of each demo to let us know how successful it was. We will do our best not to throw things during any demos, but it's possible that someone might grab a bag of SQL Server badge holders and shotgun them to the entire room, but only during the breaks. And the folks that are over here are likely to be the ones doing that throwing. So cheer, because this will determine the winner of the BI Cough. And we'll turn this over to the legendary archer of Sherwood, Chris Webb. Robin, who takes data from the poor. I didn't know he was going to wear a hat.
Right. Are we ready? Are we ready? Good. Okay, so the theme for SQL Bits this year is arcade, but I was never any good at arcade games. I was always an RPG person. So what I thought I'd do today is port my favorite 8-bit RPG game over to Power BI. Let's take a look at it. It's called Power BI Quest. Are you ready for the fastest RPG walkthrough in history?
Are you ready?
Yes. All right, so let's start a new...
We have to do it better. I said, are you ready?
All right, good. Right, let's start a new game. Now, with every RPG, there's always some flimsy backstory. In this one, I play a junior business analyst. I've got to save the kingdom by building some Power BI reports. In order to do that, how does every RPG start? Well, you know, I've got to turn up into a... come on, Internet. Don't do this to me now. All right, I've got to turn up into a dangerous cave, meet some dodgy old guy, and get my Power BI going. All right, so let's move on swiftly. What do we do at the beginning of every RPG? We wander aimlessly around a map. Now, as a little side note, it was surprisingly easy to reproduce the blocky graphics and ugly color schemes of an 8-bit RPG in Power BI using its visualization capabilities.
So when you see users doing this in Excel, it's an easy migration path.
I've been attacked. I've been attacked already. What do you think I could have been attacked by? Is it an orc? Is it a kobold? Is it a dwarf? No. What does every junior business analyst fear? My first battle is against a monstrous Excel spreadsheet. What does Excel do? Excel uses its VLOOKUP attack. I'm going to counter by building relationships between tables, a far superior way to look up data. Excel builds a pivot table, but wait, I can build a pivot table using Analyze in Excel. Excel now is desperate. It's going to try and load 1 million rows of data onto the worksheet. But it fails, of course. But I can load more than 1 million rows of data easily. And Excel is defeated. So, hooray, I've leveled up to a senior business analyst. All right. Come on. All right. Clicked in the wrong place. All right. Now, I'm going to have to head over to this town over here because that was a pretty close battle. I wonder what I'm going to find in this town. I need to get some new resources or something. Okay, first of all, come on, Wi-Fi, don't do this to me. All right, I'm going to head to the weapons shop. Wonder what I'm going to find in the weapons shop. All right, this guy looks like he should be able to sell me some useful weapons. But for some reason, his stock seems to consist mostly of dodgy 80s metal albums. Maybe if we scroll down a little bit, there'll be something interesting.
I'm
Now,
waiting for someone to point out that the Triumph of Steel was from 1992. It is not a dodgy 80s metal album.
All right. Do you think I can wield Matthew's long pointy swords? Or maybe we shouldn't go there today. It's being recorded. This trident looks quite interesting, but no, let's stick to some Power BI functionality. Well, there's goals, data flows, that's got to be good. All right, let's choose data flows and purchase it. Right, I bought it, I can equip it. All right.
So, Chris, I said you only had
all right,
5
I've
minutes.
got 5 minutes. All right, I can't wait for this. I'm going to have to go to the magic shop. We've got to go super quickly. All right. Come on, internet. Stop browsing while you're doing this. I need fast internet. All right, let's go to the magic shop. Who's going to be in the magic shop, hey? All right.
It's the magic.
Let's see what we've got. Oh, my God. I mean, some of these scrolls are incredibly expensive here. These wizards must be making a hell of a lot of money. All right, let's choose calculate and purchase it. And I've learned enjoy DAX. I think that's probably the biggest joke I'm going to tell today. Let's move on. All right, I'm going to have to move over to this igloo type thing, which is actually a dungeon. But first, I've got to cross the river. Right, where's the best place to cross a river? Matthew? Is it as far upstream as possible and as far downstream as necessary? Yes, it is. Right, luckily, I can swim. All right, let's head over to the dungeon. Come on, the dungeon's where it's at. Let's head into the dungeon. All right, this looks like a particularly scary dungeon. Look at all those bi-directional relationships. We're going to see some nasty monsters in here. Right, oh no, I've been confronted by a really scary monster. And of course, it leads by its deadly pretty graph attack. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do well because, I'm going to only be able to build a slightly less pretty graph. I'm almost going to be defeated here. But look, Tableau is trying to get data from a wide, flat table. And I can use a dimensional model. Hooray! And then Tableau, of course, needs to charge loads of money for its licenses, which allows me to undercut it. And yay, Tableau's been defeated. And I've leveled up to be an MVP already. Okay, I have now reached the fact table of doom, where the final boss is located. Who is the greatest enemy of all Power BI users? Who do I need to defeat to win the game?
The compliance.
Of course, the greatest enemy of all Power BI developers is Power BI itself, symbolized by Henry the Owl. What does Henry do? Henry leads by prioritizing AI features that I don't need. But don't worry, I can work around all these limitations with bookmarks, thank goodness. He's gone and released a new version of desktop that's full of bugs. My God, I'm going to have to open a support case. And he's taken down the whole Power BI service. What can I do? All my scheduled refreshes have failed. All right, don't worry, I can just email the PBX files around to everybody. Henry is defeated. And I've joined the Power BI Cat team.
Woo!
Thank you.
Wow. After an exciting season for this great British BI cough, we expected every finalist to come in with their A game. We did not expect an AI game, so this is off to a strong start. Be aware there's a couple people throwing things. I said to pay attention. The orange things are little badge holders, and the red things are harder, smaller badge holders. So help yourself. I want to introduce our next contestant. So little known to the greater world because the Power BI Cat team tends to take up all the air in any room. Last year, Father, I just noticed the color. I'm not sure where this is going to go. But last year, the Power BI Cat team was joined by the Azure Synapse CSE, or Customer Success Engineering team. We are sibling teams. We work together every day. And
I'm back. Sorry, I'm here. Hey,
and
sorry.
Mark from the Azure from the Azure Synapse CSE team is joining us to show the Synapse side of the Power Hour. So I'm going to ask my gremlins to stop. There will be more, but this thing is on. Welcome, Mark. And yeah, and all you guys can hear Mark in the back, right? Oh, for the audio folks, were you able to hear Chris in the back?
If I turn it off mute, does it work better?
Yeah. So for all the speakers, don't mute it. They'll control it from back there. So general instruction. We learn as we go. But Mark, you said you were going to talk about Synapse today.
Yeah, Synapse.
Synapse.
Synapse. You said Synapse?
So I'm not good with brand names. I'll roll with it. So
okay, Synapse. So thank you, Brother Matthew and Brother Chris. Today I am brotherly love.
Oh.
No?
Oh, Synapse.
Yeah, it's Synapse. Because it was a power hour, I thought I would do a power app. Does that not work?
We'll make it work.
We'll make it work. Okay. So I'm from the Synapse Cat team. Is that, yeah.
Close enough.
Synapse. Do we need to spell it out?
No.
Okay, all right. So today I'm here to talk about sin. And I can see a lot of sinners in the audience. Can I get an amen? I can still hear a lot of sinners out there. People who love sin too much. Can I get an amen? Amen. Can I get a hallelujah? Hallelujah. I can still see lots of sinners.
It's like I never left the States.
I can see, look, he's a sinner, he's videoing. He looks very,
He's slouching.
Some sinners, I've forgotten her name.
It's Benny Yogurt.
Sorry. Sister Margaret, we need to free up the rest of the calendar because this guy has sinned too much. Have this, use that, play with that. That will stop you going blind.
I thought it was just the lighting.
Okay. All right. Can I get a hallelujah? Hallelujah. So, sin. You're all sinners. So I thought we would do a sin app to try and help you all and get rid of all your sin. How does that sound?
Well, we promise not to do anything useful in this session, so I think that you're skirting a little bit close to the edge, but let's run with it.
Okay, all right. So you can download this from the App Store. It is £6.66. Is that good? Okay, all right. Let's go and get in. So, everybody, where's my mouse? There we go. I am a sinner. Everybody repeat after me. I am a sinner. Has anyone been to confessional? You have to say. Okay, all right, just checking. It looks very familiar, that person on the screen. It has been how many days? All right, it's been
a long time.
A bloody long time since your last confession. Forgive me, sequel or father. Oh no, there are too many sinners. All our priests are busy. So we've just got to wait for a few seconds till there's a priest ready to forgive us.
So is Ted going to join us today?
Yes, but no, all the money is waiting. It was only holding in his bank account. It wasn't in there. All right, ready to confess. All right, now we need to have some confessions. We need to confess things. So I've got some pre-built ones.
Do we want to ask the audience to confess? Does anyone want to raise their hand to say their data sins? Oh, please go ahead. So please forgive me for joining the Power Hour where they're making fun of Power BI. Do you feel that you should be forgiven for being here? Well, there is no forgiveness for that. Perhaps not a cardinal sin, but some sort of one of the bad ones.
I mean, I was hoping for adultery, lying. Wait. Oh, okay. 2 rosaries, that's all you need, and then you're done. All right. But I still see some more sinners in the audience. All right. I mean, those cherubs look familiar, don't they?
I like forking fun. This is a forking fun session.
Any other sins?
He's a Tableau user. And I have to say, even though people might judge you, there's nothing wrong with that, and we appreciate your bringing your authentic self. You're welcome here, and we love you.
You're a bad person. Come back for confession every day for the next 2 weeks.
Apparently, our AI model is less forgiving than the people on the stage.
Yeah. All right. How much time we got?
2 minutes.
2 minutes. Well, I think I'll go for the most cardinal sin. Because I work in Azure Synapse, what's the most cardinal sin you think I could do?
So that was using Snowflake from the Peanut Gallery over here. Sorry, the Longbow Gallery.
My left arm is hurting again. Oh,
transforming data downstream. That's one.
Yeah, but for me, almost like I prepared one earlier.
He's over there.
Oh, also not scaling down your dedicated pool. But normally, you get the sack for doing that. All right. What happens if you leave all your tables in round robin distribution? You're going to burn in special hell. That picture looks very familiar, doesn't it, Matthew?
Fire abs.
Yeah, I'm loving the abs, though.
So thank you, Father, for joining us and showing us this brotherly love.
Do you know what? I forgot to tell you that we were using the Azure Synapse ecumenical services in the background.
Well, I think the ecumenical services are still in private preview. We're not supposed to talk about them in public yet. But thank you very much for coming and joining us. Let's hear it for Mark and the Sin app. And as we are getting set up for our next demo, I want to remind everyone that there are multiple sources of inbound projectiles. While this is ongoing, I'm going to tell a true story. Pay attention to them, but listen to me. At the past summit in 2018 in Seattle, I had some larger, aerodynamically efficient boxes that I was throwing. And at the end of the power hour, someone came up to me bleeding from the forehead where he had gotten clipped in the head with the corner of a box. And I want to say thank you to him for not suing, and thank you to you for not being that guy. And, let's be that guy. So next we have Lauren Faber, another member of the Power BI Cat team. Welcome, Lauren.
Thank you. Can they hear me okay? Can you hear me okay? Is this thing on? Okay. Well, since I know all of you so well, I'm admitting something that's quite embarrassing to say, that I am a Bachelor super fan. Boo! Yeah! Woo! So, for those of you who don't know what The Bachelor is, it's basically when a single man goes on a reality trash TV show to date 30 women at the same time and decide who he will end up with for the rest of his life. Or on the flip side of that, you can have a bachelorette who is one female going on to date 30 men at the same time to decide who her one true love is. To give some context, every Monday night, you will find me and my cat on the couch tuning into The Bachelor and or Bachelorette. And believe it or not, my cat might enjoy the show a little more than I do. And it might be hard to tell, but these photos are actually taken on 2 different days. That's just what surviving a pandemic does to you. I actually at one point created a Bachelor Instagram profile and listened to not one, but 2 different Bachelor podcasts. So little obsessed, took me a while to come to terms. I've been through a lot of therapy, still not really working. But I thought it would be fun to analyze some of the data from The Bachelor and Bachelorette in the US franchise. So as you can see here in this Power BI report that I built, I can toggle back and forth between the Bachelor franchise as a whole and the Bachelorette franchise as a whole to analyze some of these numbers. Now we can see here that there's been 25 seasons of The Bachelor, and we have a whole 2 relationships still standing, everybody!
Woo!
Woohoo!
So they're better than the national average is what I'm getting.
That's a 7% success rate. If we flip over to analyze the bachelorette, so if the lead is a woman, out of the 18 seasons, we have 5 relationships standing. That's a 26% success rate. So this tells us one of 2 things. Either your moms, partners, teachers are right and women do actually make better decisions,
or their standards have to be so much lower to go on the show that they're going to settle for whoever wins.
Exactly. By the time they get on, they'll take just about anybody. If you look down at this map, this is where the contestants come from. The blue dots are the winners. I was shocked to zoom in and find that they actually found a human being living in South Dakota. And what was even more surprising was that person won the show. But don't worry, 2 months later, they broke up. But can you blame them? The person was from South Dakota. Then I used Q&A to answer some questions about the data set. I wanted to know, how many people are watching this show? Which season has had the most viewers? And with my Q&A, I found, when it goes...
Again, our internet not helping.
That the Bachelorette season, number 1, had 16 million viewers. And let me tell you, that's 16 million too many people. Something that I love about the show as well is the occupations of the contestants. So I thought we'd play a little bit of occupation trivia while the photo's loading. So these are occupations these people actually said that they have when they went on the show. So here we have Alex Dillon, and this is a test for my audience. Do we think she was a pet food tester, a sloth, or a cuddling consultant? Yell it out. Okay, let's see it. She was not a cuddling consultant. Indeed, she was a sloth. And if the internet were to load...
Well, you can tell because her hands are cleverly hidden off the bottom of the photo so that you can't see her mighty claws for hanging from trees.
Yes. And this was actually the costume she wore on The Bachelor. That is her in the sloth costume. The second one we're going to do is we have Alejandro Velez. So while his photo's loading up, do we think he's a mushroom farmer, ballet composer, or pirate? Oh, pirate's a fun one. Yeah, pirate would be fun, but indeed, he is actually a mushroom farmer. We don't know what kind of mushrooms, people, but, So as his mushroom farmer is coming up, I mentioned that my cat and I love watching The Bachelor and Bachelorette together. It's been quite a hard year for my cat. A year ago, he had his genitals snipped off, and he hasn't really had much luck finding love in that department. So him and I had a talk and decided that he should apply to go on the cat version of The Bachelorette. So we wanted to strategize and say, okay, what is it that gets someone to go on the show and actually win the whole thing and fall in love? So I decided to use the key influencers visual to understand what makes you the most likely to win if you go on this show. And what I found is that if your occupation is in entertainment, generally sports stars, actresses, or social media influencers, if your hair color is brown, your ethnicity is white, your home state is California, and you're 27 years old, that is the most likely chance you have to come out with love on this show.
And how likely is it that your cat is going to meet those criteria, though?
So, unfortunately, when we look at Wolfgang, he doesn't really fit a lot of the criteria, so we decided to do a early 2000s rom-com makeover and get him ready to go on the show.
Woo! And this is turning insights into action.
Yes, this is a data-driven decision right here to go with this look. So that's all I have for you today. Thanks for the time.
Thanks very much. And as much as it pains me to say this, we are officially having too much fun. We've been asked to use our indoor voices to cheer. I'm not sure how this will tie into the prize selection, but if you were to cheer really, really loudly without making any noise, that would be ideal, is what I understand. And if someone wanted to throw a t-shirt or a backpack or a hoodie or 3, I know that the folks would appreciate that. Be aware that most of the t-shirts are wrapped in rubber bands with a size written on them. We did some data prep upstream in the States, so be aware that that is there. And we need you to project. There we go. We're waiting on Scott. No pressure, Scott. I mean, honestly, what's the worst that could go wrong, right? All right, so as we get going, as Scott has his presentation hooked up, I want to introduce Scott Sewell, another member of the Power BI Cat team who does a lot of Dataversey type stuff. This is as much as I know about Dataverse, so I'm hoping to learn a lot, which says that I might be in the wrong place.
Yeah, so I wasn't sure. I think I... can you hear me? Yeah, no? Am I turned off? Did I mute?
I hope not, after those very
Really
explicit
Any
instructions.
better? Can you hear me okay?
So, for the folks in the back, can you hear Scott over the audio?
Can you hear
For
me
the
over
folks
the
in the
audio?
back, can you hear Scott over the PA? You need to talk.
Talk 1, 2, 3. Is any better?
So that's
Okay.
a no.
That's a no. Okay. How about I use that then? Let's improvise. Awesome. I'll just use this. Fantastic. All right. So, I very good. So fantastic. Thanks. Welcome. Like I said, my name is Scott Sewell. I'm a specialist on the Power BI Cat team and focused on the combination of Power BI plus Dataverse and Dynamics. Now, that might be a combination you're unfamiliar with, but believe me, there's a rich, rich history going way, way back of Power BI and Dynamics coming together to provide some insights over data. In fact, it goes all the way back to 1997 and a specific place, which was a movie theater outside of Bellevue, Washington. Does anybody remember what the movie of the year was for 1997? Titanic. Yes, excellent, excellent. And Titanic really was the inception of Power BI. In fact, as we look at Titanic, we can see the way that Titanic influenced all this and it comes forward. In fact, there's a... there we go. We'll go on past that. All right. It's a little late. Okay. So, in fact, just in case, the great thing was this day we were at the movie theater. It was all the cat team, pretty much. We were all there together. And we had come out of the movie. We'd seen it. And let's see, Patrick, Matthew, you were there. So some of the Italians were there with us. I don't know why, but you were there. We're glad to have you. We came out of the movie theater, and Patrick and I, we were just a mess, just sobbing, just weeping at the sweet, sweet sorrow of this movie we'd just seen.
They do that in meetings on a daily
All the time.
basis, so it's
It was-
true, but it's not exceptional.
Yeah. And Matthew comes up, smacks me across the face, and says, "Get a hold of yourself, Scott. It's just a movie." And I said, of course, anyway, I was deeply moved by it. But about that same time, Arun walked up and said, "Listen, guys, there's an amazing opportunity here with Power BI to take a look at the Titanic information and do better. We can do better. We can improve the safety of the Titanic." And so that's really where Power BI started. And if you don't believe me, the clues are hidden right there. Because if you look at the logo, it truly is the Titanic. It's downhill from there. So let's go into so this is an example of, come on.
It's an example of video issues. Here, do you want me to hold the microphone for you?
That's good. I got it. I think we'll try it one more time. Here we go. It shows up on my screen. Come on. Duplicate. There we go. All right. Yay! Again, success. Fantastic. So we have the passenger crew. This is a very common machine learning data set. I think most everybody's seen it. Passengers crew. They've been loaded into Dynamics CRM so that we can see information about who they are. In fact, I can see that Anthony Abbing here is a third-class passenger. He's a male, 42 years old, and unfortunately, Anthony perished. But Anthony is a part of the third-class passenger data set, and so we can embed Power BI into Dynamics and see more information about the third-class passengers. We find that they survive at only a rate of about 26%. And if we go look at just the men on the third-class passenger, they survive at only a rate of about 13% as the water level rises to 86%. But we can look at it further and say, let's look at the whole data set and look at all the passengers and crew on the Titanic. And I can look at passengers and see just the group there. Has anybody ever seen a sand key actually used? There you have it.
It was an iceberg, not a sand key.
The sand key, right. So we could look at passenger staff. But ultimately, this is telling us something about the passengers and crew of the Titanic. Let's go ahead and go deeper into it because we want to learn some way to make this whole process safer. And of course, I've used the key influencer, and we find out that the most important category is the fact that the person is female. And that gives them like 3.5 times more likelihood of surviving. Or they're a first-class passenger, but we can also look at top segments and say combinations of it, such as if you're a female and you're on the first-class passenger list, very high likelihood. Now, what Titanic demo would be complete without the aquarium? Seems very appropriate.
This got dark quickly.
Yeah. So we have that. But we can also look at the very unfortunately named passenger decomposition tree. Very tragic. Sorry. Too soon. Right. So if we look at the passenger staff, we can see in the passenger staff, if I was a female passenger staff member of the passenger staff, we have 100% survival. Tell me any ideas on why the female passenger staff, these are people working directly for the passengers, would have 100% survival? Because they
told their passengers the wrong way to go.
Right, they jumped, they grabbed the coat and ran. No, think about it. They're the ones who are carrying the babies of the first-class passenger. The nannies, the ladies' maids, they're the ones who are helping. So for whatever reason, they have this 100% survival rate. So ultimately, all this information comes together. We have an understanding of what's happening, and ultimately we're finding that science tells us that if you want to build a better Titanic, you want to build it out of first-class nannies, right? So anyway, thanks very much.
Oh, thank you, Scott. So as Rui comes up to take the stage, be aware that, again, projectiles are inbound, although it looks like Lauren has taken pity, because there is one, and I kid you not, this gentleman has just gotten a Microsoft logo camp stool. No, she handed it. We were going to throw stool into the audience, but apparently that means something different here. And as Rui is coming up, I want to, there we go. This is going to work the first time, but I want to introduce Rui as one of the newer members of the Power BI CAT team. He is not new to the Power BI community, but Rui has done a lot of work around Power BI Premium.
Yeah.
How's your audio, Rui?
Sounds good? Sounds good? Okay. Let's try to keep this serious. Any Power BI admin in here? Managing premium capacities. Now give it a scream of pain, I know. Give it a scream. Okay, this is for you. This is for you. So, as you know, on Power BI Premium, if you are managing a premium capacity, CPU is the thing. So it's the most important measure. It's what you need to track about, because when you buy a premium capacity, you have a certain amount of CPU seconds. If you go over that limit, you will get slowed down. You will get throttled. So I thought, I'm in SQL Bits arcade theme, so I thought in creating a solution that will help you guys. So this is for you. I called the solution. Sorry. I call the solution I don't know what's happening.
Hit F5, or if you go into slideshow view, that will put focus on the other screen.
Yeah, man, I'm on the slideshow.
So if you're extending, this is going to cause problems.
I think it is broken.
I don't want to say that it's only the people with Surface Books that are having problems, but that's what we're working towards. So can you duplicate your screen?
Yeah, I just did that. Okay. So this is for you. I call this the Waka Power BI mole. So the idea is we have a bunch of users that normally self-service users, and there is a mole. And what's a mole? A mole, it's a Power BI user doing bad stuff, like refreshing a data set every 5 minutes when the data only refreshes once per day, or creating those nasty cube values Excel spreadsheets that will just blow up our capacity. And I built this solution that is using log analytics. So this is the serious part, I know. Connecting to the Power BI data sets. It's grabbing all this data, and then I create the whack-a-mole Power BI data set that classifies these users. And if there is a mole, I will be able, as a Power BI admin in the top, to whack him. And of course that I cannot actually kill it, because that's not possible. But what I can do is I can let them know that we are watching. And the best way to let someone know that we are watching
is with
like
swords.
No, in the social media, if I want to hurt someone, I will send them a meme with a message. So I will send them a meme like, hey, like this. Let me show you. So, do you know what's the worst thing that can happen to an Excel power user? Is that Excel being useful? Because if it is, you will drop that as that guy. Because that Excel, you will spend your life managing that Excel and working on that Excel. So if I send this to an end user, it will be like, okay, it's better than sending the text saying, hey, don't do that. He won't read it. But if I send them the image, he will understand it. Because an image is better than 1,000 words. So let me show you. This working. So this is my whack-a-mole dashboard. I'm a Power BI admin, so I can come here, and I will be able to see. Okay, this is Jennifer. Jennifer just consumed 6,000 CPU seconds in the last hour. This is huge, just by using Excel. So probably cube values. I don't know. I'm tracking that down. So I can click here. I can click on the Wacket, and I should be receiving an email. This is the last one, but that should be receiving an email like this with the CPU consumption saying that, yes, that's a lot, don't do that, and the meme. And yeah, this is the demo. The fun part of this is using this amazing ecosystem to create these solutions without a single line of code, which is awesome. And that's why I believe that the Microsoft platform is really differentiator.
And we have several dozen memes that are available. Are you going to publish this solution on GitHub?
Yeah,
Are
of
these
course.
moles going to be available? Oh, awesome.
Yeah, of course. These moles, for example, if I click on this one, the refreshes, and I whack it, I should be receiving another email. Internet is slow. But with Harold Payne saying, my data updates every day. Better use a Power Automate to refresh it every 5 minutes. And believe me, this happens all the time. I see this all the time. So this is a good solution until we are able to kill them. Maybe it will come in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Rui. And we did check with our legal and compliance team, and apparently whacking is the harshest verb that we can use. So whack-a-mole is all that we're likely to ship. We have one final demo of the day. They're very happy to have this be the last demo, but at the same time, they were very happy with the sinning too, so let's not read too much into it. But for our last demo of the day, Casper, who is in many ways the godfather of the Power BI Cat team, is going to join us. And if I understand correctly, Casper is going to do what we rarely do at the Power Hour, which is show NDA, never before publicly disclosed upcoming functionality in Power BI that is not on the public roadmap. Do I understand that correctly?
And probably will never ship.
All
right.
Okay, so like most of the things that we're doing.
Oh. All right, so my name is Casper de Jonge. I am on the Power BI Cat team. We are, as Adam Saxton likes to say it, a small team of elite ninjas, and we work with some of the largest customers on the toughest problems. Large data sets, a big user base, tough security problems, and they come to us for help. We help them, and then we provide feedback back to the Power BI PM team, who help them to prioritize next. But we have a huge, huge, huge problem. Because Power BI is super popular, as we all see here. Yes? So you can see the trend line here. It's growing and growing and growing, and it's growing so fast that we cannot even visualize How many using Power BI with Power BI?
Do we have to use Tableau to visualize how awesome Power BI is?
Let's not go there. So what we need is we need help. We need backup. We want you. We want a lot of people in the team. And you know, Matthew was already talking about it. Amazing new people in the team. Rui, Lars, Lauren, many other people in the team that have been joining. But how did we find this talent? Where did we get them? Because it's super hard. So it was pandemic, nothing to do. So I went into the matrix and I searched for data. I got data from LinkedIn, I got data from Twitter, I even went onto the dark web and I got like 1.5 billion users of Facebook. Don't tell anyone at Microsoft that I did this, but I did it.
When I look at the data, all I see is consultant, analyst, architect.
Exactly. So what happened here is I moved all that data into my data lake. It's probably sitting somewhere in Switzerland, as you can see in the nice mountains, but I loaded everything into the data lake. But how do I make sense out of this? It's billions of rows of data, and I was sitting there on my couch, like I had to do something. So obviously, I loaded it into Power BI.
Power BI desktop for that volume
Power
of data.
BI desktop without no problems with that. And you can see all of them accidentally have an AdventureWorks email address, but and you scroll down, you can see there's lots of data, and scroll bar goes back up. So lots and lots of data. How do I figure out of all of this data, who is suitable to work in the Power BI CAT team? So first, I opened up Power Query, and I tried to figure out, using some AI functions, who's doing it. But Chris, close your ears. Power Query was just not powerful enough. It just didn't cut it. It just didn't work. So I turned to VertiPack Engine. Of course, the best thing there is today. But we don't really have anything built into the analysis service engine that allows us to do anything like this. So I worked together with the engineers, the developers of the VertiPack Engine team, and we infused it with some AI to figure out who's going to be suitable for our team.
So just remember, when that feature that you're really waiting for is delayed, it's because Casper is having the engine team work on AI features. Just, you heard it here first.
Exactly. So for me to be able to get to all that information, they gave me a new DAX function. And I'm going to try and see it here today. So I have a new DAX function called Awesomeness Index. You won't see it on DAX Guide or anywhere else. It just works when you work in the Power BI CAT team. But the Awesomeness Index is going to help me determine how awesome a person would be to fit in the Power BI team. Okay, so I'm going to use this measure to help me decide who's going to good fit for the Power BI team. But again, I don't want to look at this boring long list of data. I want to sit on my couch and swipe. Okay, so I'm introducing something new today too, and it's called Tinder for Teams.
That's
Who will be your perfect match. Okay, let's see what it came up with. Who's the first person? Oh, Chris Webb.
Can I say I'd tap that, or is that the wrong demo?
That's the wrong demo. But Chris, I mean, yeah, you know, I attended so many sessions of Chris, MDX. I learned from him, but lately has gone a bit astray. Too much into the Power Query world. Parameters he loves a bit too much. So I would say, sorry, Chris. Ah, look at this guy. Handsome Italian guy. Look at this nice picture. Knows everything about DAX. Can't go wrong with Alberto. So let's say yes. Simon Whiteley, is he in the room? I don't think he's here. But local fan favorite. I think the AI algorithm is going to determine, based on the location where we are, to look at some people. Simon, I mean, he's a great guy, but a bit too much. He says he just wants to sit in his data lake house. So no. Oh, look at this guy. Sitting there all the way in the back. But I'm just going to say one thing, you know, just look at this guy and it's going to be too hot to handle, so no. Oh, how did he get in here, you know? Always, he managed to get his way into things that he should not be in. We like working with first-party people. We like third parties.
How about 10th parties?
10 parties, it's too much, so no. Oh, James. Another fan favorite, of course. James is our great helper here, but you know, he just likes to work on maps. Sorry, James, sorry. And then finally, who knows this guy? So Matt Mason is the original Power Hour fan, Mr. Bi-Curious. That's where this picture comes from.
I think it's BI curious.
VI Curious, exactly. And of course, Matt, SIS, and knows everything like this. So I would say we're going to definitely try to get Matt on the team. And that is how we spent our lockdown. So we were swiping for people, swiping for new candidates, and we're always looking for more people to join our team. So do you think you have it, that 30-pack will approve you? I don't know. Just try out when the new job openings come. And that's it. Thank you for your time.
All right. Thank you very, very much, Casper. So as we wrap things up, there's still more stuff incoming, so there's more swag, more little things that are making their ways around. But because we asked you to be quiet in the middle, we don't really have a baseline, so we sort of skewed that input data. So I'm going to ask for applause for each of our presenters again, because I wasn't joking about this being a contest, and we need to say who is going to be the star BI-ker for this Great British BI Cough. So as I go through in turn, cheer for the demos that you loved the most, and maybe be quiet for the ones that you didn't love quite as much. We all have soft feelings and will be hurt, but let's be honest anyway. How about Chris Webb and his 8-bit adventure? How about Mark and his brotherly love? How about Lauren's awkward admission of bachelor affection? Scott's dark descent into the depths? Rui's decision to not use lethal measures for errant Power BI users. Or perhaps Casper's blatant recruiting pitch. I have to say that, Chris, you are our crowd favorite today. That was loud and clear where I stand. Which means that you have, as your prize, the physical representation of failure. So this is an original Henry the Owl, printed by Will Thompson, program manager on the Power BI team, as part of the 2014 product group hackathon. There are ones of them in existence today, and Chris had no idea that this was coming. Similarly, neither Laura nor James, who stepped up and volunteered to be our intro god and goddess. Come over here, you soggy-bottomed people. So it is rare in this day and age that we have a chance to give back to the community, whether it's physically or figuratively. But I want to say on behalf of the entire Power BI team, we could not do this without you, and it means more than you will ever know to see you, to interact with you, both online but especially in person this week. Thank you so much for coming, and please come and see us when you can. We can't wait to say hi once again. Thank you.